Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Entertainment Expansion. We are your hosts, Tyler Callahan and Mike Ferrante. Mike, how you doing?
Well, I'm as good as I ever could be, Tyler.
Okay. So we are taking a break from video games. We're taking a break from Resident Evil, as much as we would love to keep talking about it. Movies
But
are
we're not
starting.
too far off track.
Yeah. I mean, the topic is kind of similar. But we got movies to talk about. Movies are finally coming out again, if you believe it. But we're not
Yeah,
talking about a
about time.
theatrical release. Talking about a Netflix movie and the second Zack Snyder movie of this year. We're talking about Army of the Dead. Dave Bautista leads a group
Yes, we are.
into Las Vegas. They got to steal hundreds of millions of dollars from the casino that's now abandoned and littered with zombies. We will be talking full spoilers about this because this ain't your typical zombie movie. But let's get right into it. Mike, what did you like about Army of the Dead?
Well, some of the few things I liked about it is very simple. Number one, yes, the script may have not have been the greatest in the world, but I felt like the actors on screen actually showed chemistry together, especially like the main actors that were there. So it kind of gave a little bit more of a believable performance throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I enjoyed is they didn't really go the typical zombie route where the zombie outbreak happens and the whole world just collapses, because especially in this day and age, it's hard to believe that a zombie outbreak wouldn't be contained at some level. Like the whole world would just succumb to it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because that's
Yeah.
usually what happens in zombie movies. This, it was, it outbroke. They lost Vegas, so they completely quarantined it,
Yeah, like there
walled
were
it off.
casualties, but the
Yes,
world moves
but
on.
it wasn't globally or even nationwide. It was pretty much just one city, and that was it. So I kind of like that, and I definitely like the intro of showing the outbreak happening. The action obviously is on point. I like that Snyder did take some pretty big risks when it came to adding some things in this movie. Like there's a lot of open questions now that the movie is done with and where it's going to go. Because I know we're getting a prequel, but potential sequel. Like what's happening next? But those are just a few things I really like. Tyler, what did you like about the film?
You know, it's weird you listed them off like that because as you were going through, I kind of agreed with you for most of your positives. So I'm going to shit on this movie, but the characters and chemistry I thought was actually pretty good. I like the camaraderie or whatever, however much they could, considering half of them hate each other. But it definitely felt like it felt like they were actual characters.
Yeah.
I thought the action, when it did happen, was pretty good, and for the action scenes, I was entertained. I will say my positives about the lore of it now. It had me interested, curious, especially at the beginning, how Vegas was quarantined, how it happened, how the country moved on. I found it interesting that the current president, because they talk about him a lot, how he even had a campaign promise. What was it? The campaign promise was to nuke them, was to nuke Vegas.
Yep.
So, like, imagine in our universe, if this happened, we would be watching a debate of the two candidates. And one of them is actively, to finish the zombies off, I will nuke Las Vegas. And that's just a normal thing. That's just a normal thing in that situation.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it had me curious. And, the hierarchy of the zombies with the alphas and then like the runners, the hibernating ones, a lot of work. I will give Snyder that. A lot of work went into basically an entire like society of zombies. Compared to his
Yes.
Dawn of the Dead remake, where they're all just fast runners. As soon as they bite you, you're done, kind of thing. Like there is a
Yeah, he
you
made it a little bit more interesting
like you
because it's
can
not you're
trade
just
with
run of the
them.
mill like, oh yeah, these are just yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Like, oh, you
Like
can
they're
you're free to roam if you give
especially
us
the alphas are
sacrifice.
somewhat intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's weird that, because before that it was Zombieland 2 that really put intelligence into, zombies with the T-800s or whatever they call them. But with
Yeah,
this, it was literally like a hierarchy of almost like a zombie government. Like that was their kingdom, as they said. And Zeus was the king. All the other alphas obeyed him, and all the other zombies obeyed him as well. So it's interesting how there was kind of that whole hierarchy thing, especially since like he eats first, then everyone else eats. You
yeah.
see that a lot when it comes to animals, especially like wolves, bears, lions, stuff like that. They'll all eat, but the alpha always eats first, then the rest can eat.
But I mean, that's all I kind of have. Like, all my positives are just kind of what you mentioned. I guess I'll just start off with a negative. The
Yeah, go for it.
shit. Where do I start? The pacing. Let me start with the pacing. Intro, all good. First 20, 30 minutes, I'm into it. You know, you lay down the zombie threat. You have your famous Snyder opening montage. Love it. You start to get the plan together. Then basically once they're in, it takes a while for the action to pick up, and then it's kind of boring until they get to the vault. Gotta be honest. And then yeah, the last 30 minutes it picks up.
Yes, but here's what I'll argue with that.
Okay.
Where there wasn't action, there was more character development. Because we keep saying how we liked how these characters felt fleshed out. They did that on screen because they actually built us to, essentially like these characters. So yes, at times the movie definitely was slower, but during those times, for the majority of those parts, it was kind of fleshing out other characters. So the relationship between Dieter and I'm forgetting his name, Amari,
Mm-hmm.
they fleshed out in those scenes pretty well. Because at first, they didn't. Amari did not fuck with Dieter at all. He thought he was just, a liability,
That is the
and it
one
ended up
pairing I like the most.
correct.
I
But
will say that.
that's what happened in that lull you're talking about. Their relationship grew in that lull through their dialogue and their scenes together. Yes, there was not a lot of action going on during those scenes, but you can argue that key character development did take place throughout that. You have Batista and his daughter going through, their emotions with each other, why he thought she hated him versus why she really didn't like him because he was never there after he had to kill her mom. He was never there to be a parent and console her through that time. And then you also have Batista and that other female lead who, whose head got turned around real fast. There was definitely a lot more character development through those scenes. Like, yes, you kind of have those scenes where you can kind of give or take,
I mean, I'm
like
not
working on the
denying that
chopper
there
and
was
all
some
that.
character development in the quieter parts. I just feel like it could have been paced better. Like if you spliced it up, like I felt the
Yeah,
gaps were too long. But I'm not denying
I'm
like,
not going
oh,
to
there
disagree
wasn't
with you.
character development. I mean, I guess my main issue is the script. My main issue is the script.
Yeah,
Characters act stupidly for no reason. And the key one that stands out for me is the YouTuber, his girlfriend, who gets tricked
yeah,
by the hired guy. Shock. Of course, she gets tricked, and then you think she's dead, but no, she has a badass scene fighting her way out. She breaks through the window, and she's down. She's not bitten yet, and everyone, including the boyfriend, just stands there watching her trying to fight off 5, 6 zombies by herself, saying, "Oh, she's lost. She's lost. You know, she's a lost cause." They're trying to tell the boyfriend, "I'm like, shoot them right now. You can save her." And then,
yes, but to counteract that,
okay,
no one saw what we saw as the audience. They knew that she just wasn't there for a while, and now she appears with a bunch of zombies behind her. So what has to obviously be going through their minds is, was she already bitten? Because if she was already bitten, she's already surrounded by how many zombies? There's a good chance she was already bitten.
I feel Batista's the character where he'll shoot the zombies now, check her, and then if she is bit, shoot her. If she's not, you just save someone. But Jesus, even the boyfriend who just froze like that, he had
Yeah,
no problem being on a live stream killing zombies. 5 of them are trying to eat your girlfriend, man. Come on.
yeah,
Like even if you exclude Batista, rest of the group, fine. He should have made a move. And
true.
she's not excused from this either. If you see no one coming to help you, you're really not going to be like, that guy did this to me, nothing. So he gets to
Yeah,
stay as a double crosser for a while. And it's like, I don't know.
yeah,
Issue number 2 with the script. The whole they need a zombie head. Like, why? Like, all right. When they first make the trade with the lady, with the zombie, with the wife, I guess, right?
yep,
Why, if you just had the team, if you had the Japanese guy say, look, government wants the head, they're willing to pay you hundreds of millions of dollars if you can get the head of one of the alphas. They literally trade with the lady, they kill her, they take the head, and they back right out. They were only 10 steps out of the container. They would have made a shit ton of money, and the government gets the head. Everyone wins. But no, they still have to keep up the guy has to keep up the facade of, oh no, we're going to the vault, and then takes the coyote out to get a like 2-on-1. Like, why? Like,
Well, here's the other argument to that.
they would say no. They would say no if they learned the truth.
Yes and no. None of them were supposed to make it out of there regardless. It was literally just so they can get in, get the one guy in so he can get the head and exfil. That was it. Because he was going to betray them the entire time.
I just feel like if the
It was
government really
never
wanted the head, they would pay for the 6-7 guys to guarantee it done. Because that's a lot of risk to have a whole group go in and hope your one guy makes it out alive. That there's
true.
no other double
But then
crossing.
again,
They don't get ambushed.
wouldn't be an evil businessman.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying it's like we see the previous guys in the vault, right? Decade. Like they've tried this before.
Yeah.
Or do you think that group just went straight for the money?
Who knows? But here's the other thing. Now you're bringing that up. Was it the previous guys or was it that crew? Because they started flirting with that whole stuck in a time loop situation, and that all the skeletons were wearing the same exact outfits.
I mean, I don't think it's anything time loop because with how busy this script is with, I don't know, robot zombies, I really would like to think Snyder would not just throw in time loop, timeline bullshit.
Well, Snyder, he just kind of likes to throw everything in there.
But he
which
can be
was
so
what
much
I will
better if he
say.
fine tunes it.
Correct, but he's never been good at that. Come on. Let's be
Watchmen was
honest.
kind of fine tuned.
Yeah, but that was
Yes, I know.
almost
It's based off a comic, but
verbatim off the graphic novel. Like, he's great at adapting things that have already been written. He's great at bringing comic book movies to real life, but when you give him his own kind of thing to do, he's just going to throw a lot of cool shit in there because it's a lot of cool shit, like the robot zombies. That was never talked about in the movie. You just had to have seen it in order for it to work. Who put the robot zombies there? Was it the government? Was it someone else? Why are the robot zombies there? That's one. Number two, the zombie fetus. When can dead
we have to bring that up.
procreate? When can dead procreate? Dead cells cannot reproduce, but here we are. The dead cells can reproduce as far as this one alpha goes. So that brings up another interesting thing that we have no idea where that was going to go or where it will go.
See, I've told you this when we talk about the movie. It's all of what you just talked about. It's very interesting in this whole Army of the Dead franchise or universe or whatever Snyder and Netflix is building. But just start it simple. Studios have failed for the past 10 years to throw everything into a movie to start a franchise. Make a simple zombie movie.
Warner Brothers. Oh, sorry.
Universal.
I'm fighting this. I'm fighting this cold here.
It's contagious. But what disappoints me is it seems like Snyder had free reign to make this entire movie because obviously Netflix saw what Warner Brothers did to him. I would assume, considering there's a prequel and the whole franchise, he was allowed to do what he wanted, and he's still like
well, Snyder's a little chaotic of a director. Like, let's be honest.
He is.
He's good. He's good. He's got a lot of talent. I love Zack Snyder.
He bit off too much with this movie because he also did the I forget the exact title position, but he did his he's like the director of cinematography as well. So like he framed his own shots.
Yes.
And it looked worse for it. Like I'll say that now.
Sometimes.
Like, Watchmen,
sometimes the whole blurry thing was.
Yeah, the blurry thing was stupid. Watchmen, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman all looked amazing. And I know it's Snyder's vision, but whoever he had as director of cinematography for those films, he needs to bring him back because people can shit on Snyder films all they want. They can never deny they look beautiful. And I can't say the same for this movie. I can't say the same. There are some scenes that look good, and the slow motion he uses is properly placed, unlike Justice League. I will give it that.
Yep. And it actually works in the movie very well.
But for a big budget movie, like if I was seeing this in theaters, like I wouldn't be like, wow, that's a Snyder shot right there. It's like, no, it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
And I was kind of hoping, because, all right, I mean, I don't know about you, Mike. I don't know how many Netflix movies you watch, but overall, Netflix movies are kind of shit in look and design. Like, yeah, you get the rare David Fincher one, but commonly they're kind of eh. And I was hoping Snyder would bring a little flair to it, and he didn't. It's a little disappointing for me.
Yeah, I mean, the movie's not perfect by any means.
Also, I mean,
but I still think
2.5 hours, barely.
Yeah, it could have been cut down a little bit.
Look, I'm all for a 2.5, 3 hour zombie epic movie, but that wasn't this.
No, it definitely, like you said, it definitely dragged at points that could have been tightened up and fine tuned. But I don't know, man.
I'm giving it a lot of shit.
Overall,
It's not his worst movie I made.
no.
It's
There's
better than
Sucker
300. It's
Punch.
better than Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
Like, it's not terrible. And considering I thought this was going to be complete shit when I saw the trailer, it was above it met my expectations. Like, it went above it, I should say.
Okay. I was gonna say you're treating it harsh enough. You're saying it barely met your expectations.
No. It exceeded my expectations. It's just my expectations were barely off the floor.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Snyder's doing next. The prequel's almost done, but as far as I know, he didn't direct it. He's just producing it.
No.
I don't know where he goes from here. I don't
either. I think this was a nice open doorway for him right after, coming out of Warner Brothers being mistreated.
Mm-hmm. Hey, who knows? He might get a second shot there after that merger with Discovery. Maybe they want him back.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, they wanted him back after the AT&T merge real quick.
Yeah, it's the AT&T people that came back and wanted him in. Maybe Discovery will like, hey, you want to do part 2?
Be like, yeah. Yep. I wouldn't be against him doing what he said he wanted to do, was a live action Dark Knight Returns, because I think he could kill that. I think there's no doubt in my mind that he wouldn't blow that movie out of the water, because the greatest things about Batman vs Superman were pretty close to exact from the Dark Knight Returns, for like that whole Superman fight scene, the armored suit, the weapons used, the turrets that came up. Pretty much a lot of the good things came from that.
I feel he can never make that movie now because of that.
I don't know. I think he still can.
Because how would you sell it? Well, here's Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck, but it's not the same versions of the character you know. It's like 20 years into the future. Ben Affleck's really old. No,
you're missing it. It's Dark Knight Returns. Dark Knight Returns, there's a part 1 and a part 2. That whole Superman thing was at the end of part 2.
Okay, all right. No, but we still have the same issue. We'll bring back Jared Leto too?
Maybe.
I feel you cannot do Dark... all right. Yes or no, for Dark Knight Returns, do you want him to use the cast he's been using? Or do you want a new cast?
Honestly, I wouldn't mind him bringing the cast back.
I want the old cast back, but I feel it's going to be confusing to people if it's like, so this is a continuation from Justice League, or is it not? Because I feel it can't be, because then you have to explain Darkseid, kind of.
Well, you know what? Just fuck everyone. Let's be honest about that.
Okay.
No one gives a shit, because let's be honest. Batman Forever was a continuation of Tim Burton's Dark Knight, or Batman Returns.
And no one talks about it.
No one batted an eye. Oh wait, where's Michael Keaton? No, it's fucking Val Kilmer. Oh, where's Billy D. Williams as Two-Face? No one gives a shit. So, that there's kind of that. Because I think the majority of people, thought Henry Cavill was a great Superman. Ben Affleck was a great Batman for that piece. And I'm willing to give Jared Leto a shot at the Joker.
Yeah.
I'm willing to give him that shot again.
Hey, Zack Snyder brought out the best of him in that 5 minutes.
Yeah. That is true.
And can you do it for a whole movie? Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not really a whole movie either.
Well, for him, he'd be like half of a movie. Right? Like
half
of part 1.
Here's the other thing. No, half of part 2.
Oh, yeah.
Because part 1 was all about the mutants.
Oh, yeah, and then part 2, he came back, and yeah, okay.
Yep. So I think that's kind of... I wouldn't mind seeing that in the future, but that's, grasping at straws.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe we'll go from studio to studio doing different films, but we're starting to get onto a DC topic here, but Army of the Dead, the second Zack Snyder film of the year. Mike, would you recommend it, yes or no? Is it worth a watch?
I would say yes, just because, let's be honest, there's not a lot of new movies that are out right now. And it's better than it really should have been. It's a zombie movie and a heist movie put together. If you just read that synopsis of anywhere else, you had no knowledge behind it, you would probably think this movie is going to be absolute dog shit. You're going to be getting serious Sharknado vibes. Because think about it, zombie heist movie. Like, that doesn't sound appealing.
I mean, it depends.
It kind of sounds like it's a joke.
A zombie heist movie sounds interesting, unless it's the zombies pulling off the heist, in which case, yeah, you're in Sharknado territory.
Yeah. but because when's the last time we had a really good heist movie?
Does Mission Impossible count?
No, it does not count, Tyler.
I know, I'm trying to think.
But anyway, I would say yeah, give it a watch because it's entertaining. The characters are actually likable to watch for the most part.
Yeah, for me it's a no.
Yeah, see,
Yeah, usually we agree on these results, but for me, 2.5 hours, not worth it. You can speed run through the beginning, middle, and be out in 45 minutes. You'll have seen most of the movie. And to counteract your point that there's not movies to watch, go to the theater. Go watch Cruella, Quiet Place Part 2 if you want a scary movie. I know you're not the biggest fan of Conjuring 3.
Those are out now.
Yeah, those are out now. Those are out now, and by the time people listen to this, there'll be even more options. F9 will be almost out. Ugh.
You know what? You're going to make me ask this.
Yeah, sure. Ask it.
Tyler, would you recommend watching 300?
No.
Okay. Fair enough. Because if you said yes for that, we're going to have serious fucking problems. That you say yes to 300, no to Army of the Dead, but you liked Army of the Dead more than 300. We were going to have some serious problems.
Oh, see, if we had those problems, we're going to continue that to the next episode.
Indeed. But anyway, you guys have heard us praise and bitch about this movie for long enough, in my opinion.
Excuse me?
What I want to know is, did you guys watch Army of the Dead? Do you plan on watching it? What did you like? What didn't you like? Always tell us at Entertainment Expansion. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Feel free to stop on by, shoot us a DM, and check out our other great videos. If you want to hear more about Zack Snyder, we've got a couple other videos based off of his works. If you like the zombie topics, we got plenty of Resident Evil for you. Thank you for listening, and check us out.